Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to yet another great episode of Bahrain Now, your source of local initiatives, happenings, talents, and trends. I'm your host, Bara Abdallah, here to walk you through our exciting lineup of segments and personalities from around Bahrain. So don't go away, we'll be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, our next guest found her passion for the culinary world at a very early age, as she trained around the world at prestigious places and even worked under the leadership of Chef Wolfgang Puck. Ladies and gentlemen, Lulwa Suela, how are you?
Hi, Bara. Thank you for having me here.
Oh, most definite. I'm super excited. I mean, you have such an amazing journey.
Thank you. Came with a lot of hard work, but it was worth it.
And you're so humble about it. That's what we love about that. Tell us how you found yourself, in the culinary world. Was it at the kitchen? Was it with the plastic fork? How did that happen?
I was always interested in hospitality.
Okay.
And then we had to train in different departments when you start learning about it. And then the kitchen is where I felt I fit in most. As a small person, everyone thought that was really weird.
Yeah.
But I just found a passion to it. I didn't give up, and I continued to push on, and alhamdulillah, it was great.
Wow. So even like before going to school, did you see yourself cooking stuff, a certain cookie everybody loved, the cake, certain Bahraini dish, everybody loved your balalit, for example. So how did that happen?
I was inspired by my mother because she was always cooking something. So I was very curious about what she was cooking, what she would add to it, and where she would buy the ingredients and so on. So there was a little bit of passion that sparked from there.
Okay.
But I think it grew more when I got hands-on in the kitchen and in the professional aspect.
Wow. I'm sure there were a lot of things you wanted to be as well besides just being a chef. Maybe you wanted to be a Wonder Woman, one of the video games you've been playing. It's I want to be a game developer, or you wanted to be a fashion designer. But what really hit home with you in the culinary world? How did that spark, I want to continue doing that as a chef?
Well, when I was training and in my first job, I started to cook for guests. And usually when guests go out to a restaurant, especially when it's a hotel and so, it's usually to celebrate something.
Right.
And that smile that they have at the end of the meal, it felt really good. And you wanted to continue to make people's day at the end of whatever they're celebrating.
Wow. And I can only imagine the reactions you get right now, right? With this dish, you do it and they eat it and then you see the smiles on their faces. Must be really addictive, I would say.
It's very rewarding. It's very rewarding at the end of the day. And and the adrenaline rush of it as well. It just keeps you going. So once you have a passion for it, I think it's very hard to just leave it.
Wow. So now, let's say with the journey, you finished with school here in Bahrain and now you're heading to the international world. Reading your CV and reading your journey, I'm she's been everywhere, mashallah. So when was the first time you left Bahrain, to pursue your culinary career?
Well, I studied hospitality in Bahrain.
Yes.
But when I wanted to specialize in culinary, I went to the culinary arts of the Royal Academy of Culinary Arts in Jordan. And that was my first aspect of what's the natural ingredients, what's around me, different ingredients, culture, food, and so on. And from there, I went to Spain, which is also a different as well of ingredients and different cooking techniques and so on. And then from Hong Kong, it's a whole different. So
Jordan, Spain, Hong Kong. How did that happen? So, okay, I can imagine going to Jordan, being an Arabic country and all that, and they do have amazing culinary schools over there. How did you jump from Jordan to Spain?
It was an internship.
Okay.
We had a 4 months internship, and I wanted to go somewhere that's very different from what I'm used to.
Okay.
So I was working in Marbella, Kempinski. And it was very interesting because the internship was during summer and that restaurant only opens during summer. So it was very interesting. It was my first experience to open kitchens itself.
Okay.
And I was exposed to ingredients that was homegrown.
Oh,
So that was very
wow.
interesting for me. And the internship with Hong Kong, it was also part of a school internship
Okay.
when you graduate.
Okay.
They give you another period of 4 months to go train.
Wow.
And that one was actually, it came from the school itself. There was an open position at the Hong Kong Jockey Club.
Okay.
And I got a placement over there. And it was a very good experience because a lot of Michelin star chefs would come and they would be guest chefs themselves.
Okay.
And they would cook for the VIPs in the Hong Kong Jockey Club.
No
So
way.
I was part of that training, which was very interesting, and it was like the first push to Michelin star cuisines.
Wow, wow. So it's like you've been exposed to international cuisines all around, right? From Bahrain to Jordan, heading to Spain, all the way to Hong Kong. And then we still remember seeing your pictures around in Bahrain, right? it's like in different restaurants, different places. Like, I don't know if it was the first of its kind of exposure when we saw a girl pretty much going out there and, you know, becoming a star from becoming a chef. So I think it pretty much changed the narrative over here in Bahrain. You were one of the first to do that. Although we have amazing names as chefs in Bahrain, but it seems like in your approach, it went more like from a media perspective. It's like how you change the narrative of how amazing it is to be a chef. Like, you know, you can be a doctor, you can be an engineer, and you can be a chef as well. It can be as good, even, you know, as big as all of these careers. So what can you say about that? You came to Bahrain and all of a sudden you see pictures all over the place.
Well, it really depends on whatever you do in life, whatever job you pick up. You can only succeed if you really push into it. You know, no one will take your hand and like take you through the steps. You have to push and climb those steps on your own. And to get there, to succeed, you have to travel. You have to expose yourself and put yourself in situations that you might not even be comfortable with, just to get the experience of it. So you have to get experience.
Wow.
You have to challenge yourself.
Wow, and like especially with the Michelin star, right? It's like the Oscars in the culinary world. That's amazing.
As
It's just an
glamorous as it
achievement.
sounds, like it is very stressful. So you need to have an endurance, and
Okay.
that I believe is shared among all kind of careers that you take. So any job you take, you have to have endurance.
Wow, wow, wow. So there's a lot going on. Wow. So with all that going on and taking place and learning different kind of cuisines, and I still remember like even telling me like there's certain dishes that it will take a lifetime to learn and to do, like, and especially like I don't know if it was something to do with Japanese cuisine or Asian cuisine, but I still remember he told me about a certain dish, like, you know, Bara, it will take a lifetime because it's an art, how it's cooked and all of that. Now hearing you, I'm like, definitely. Because we're like used to like the fast kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
But now what's happening seems like a lot of people are getting into the culinary world and they're telling us how things can take time.
It does.
You know,
It does take
it's
time.
like how you cook the meat, the chicken, the bread, and the portion of the bread and all of that. So things are changing. Speaking of that, what are you doing now? What's happening in Lulu's world?
Well, I just finished a collaboration with Ghada Art Gallery.
Okay.
I wanted to reach out to something that I don't know how to do, which is like pottery, plates, and so on.
Okay.
So I had a collaboration with her. She made amazing plates and so on. And those dishes I'll be taking those dishes with me to Ireland. I'm leaving in a few days.
Oh,
and I got
wow.
an opportunity to continue my professional career there.
No way.
So I'll be making Bahraini cuisine over there
You're gonna make Bahraini cuisine and dishes in Ireland.
in Ireland.
Very interesting. Well, so can you tell us a little bit what gonna do? Are you gonna do a fusion? Are we gonna see a typical majboos, haris? What's gonna happen over there?
Typical majboos haris.
Wow. Huh, what kind of reception is gonna happen over there? It's gonna be very interesting.
There's a pop-up dinner that's happening in end of summer.
Okay.
And we'll be cooking for a few guests, and as well as I got an opportunity in a Michelin star restaurant.
Nice.
So we will see how it goes from there.
Wow. You know, it will be so, it's gonna be a story. Like, it's worth the trip to go to Ireland to have majboos.
It is going to be interesting. Like their ingredients are very different from home. You know, of course, what grows here is going to be very different over there. The spices might be harder to obtain over there.
Right.
Luckily, nowadays it's very easy just to buy the spices and put it in your bag and just take it over. But it's gonna be a good experience. I think what's the most interesting thing is how they will react to our cuisine. So we will see how it goes from there.
Wow, wow, wow. It's amazing to hear your story and all the things that are like, pretty much, I think there will be like a sci-fi kind of thing a long time ago. It's like someday a Bahraini girl will go to Ireland and we're gonna export our cuisine to other places. You know, hearing it right now here on TV, I think this is just mind-blowing. It's just amazing for what you're doing right now. I think it's just phenomenal. But even the Michelin star, it's just something else. It's like, you know, having that kind of stuff. Like if somebody wants to take the same steps you've taken, well, what kind of advice you can give them?
Don't give up.
Don't give up.
Yeah. You will work long hours, you'll be underpaid, but don't give up. That's how it is when you start off. And then you grow up in steps, and in the end it is rewarding. I'll say travel as much as you can. Because what I used to do is I used to save up all my money from work, and then during that 30 days period of vacation, I will use those 30 days to travel outside and to stage in different restaurants, try my best to try to get the visa for that country and work in that country, even if it's not paid. It's very hard. It's challenging, like mentally and physically.
Yeah.
But it is rewarding. You get skills, and that's the best investment you can do. So.
Wow, you took the leap of faith on this one, didn't you? Not expecting what to have or what's gonna happen and all of this. But now, like, if you would actually right now have a talk right here with Lulu 10 years ago, the younger self, what you gonna tell her?
I'll tell her not to take things too to heart. Like 10 years ago, every time I failed, I would take it personally. I would say, maybe I am not good enough. Maybe this is not the kind of career for me. But like luckily, I had my mother tell me that, but it wasn't like too, you know, it's not the same. It's not too in your head. So I think I would tell her that again and again and again.
Wow, wow. So what is the future like for, you know, for Lulu Suwaileh?
I don't know. We don't know. The future is very unpredictable.
Okay.
It's really unpredictable, but I continue to train, at least for a while. I have no interest to open a restaurant yet.
Everybody asks you that question.
Everyone asks me this question: when will you open your own restaurant? I have no interest to open because I'm still young. I still want to train, and the food industry is moving very fast. So I would prefer to like get as much knowledge as I can, and then when I know it's the right time to open a restaurant, I'll open it.
Wow, wow. You are absolutely right. I mean, some other friends as well, they've been saying the same thing in the F&B world. They say it's just moving a bit too fast. Like, you know, if you remember all the sandwich places, the cafeterias, the tikka places, jam burger, and all the things that we lived with and we grew up with, they're saying that it's moving a bit too fast, that, you know, the new generation, all that, the new cuisines coming in, where are they with all of that? So you're absolutely right with what's going on. It's just moving a bit too fast. But with all of that is that it seems that you have a good grip on things, right? You have an understanding. So what more you want to learn when it comes to culinary?
I have learned a lot about cuisines that's not Bahraini. Like the only time I had to actually learn Bahraini cuisine was like when I came back from my travels.
Yeah.
And I had to like, as an adult, like see my mom cook, like understand the spices that I actually put in. So this is something that I had to be taught. Because even whenever culinary school you apply to, they always like French cuisine, Swiss cuisine, American cuisine. You don't learn your own cuisine, not Bahraini cuisine. So this is what I want to dive in more.
But why is it so? Like, why is it not? I would say, like, why is it kind of like not attainable to learn the Bahraini cuisine? Is it because they think everybody knows how to do haris or madruba or the Bahraini stuff, or is it nobody took the step to actually put it all in a book and teach it as a course?
I think that's the case. Nobody actually put it in a step and teach it as a course. You know, we're very unique. You know, in our cuisine we're influenced by the Indian trade, the Silk Road, and it's very flavorful. Like even if you go to UAE, it's different. Our food, even if you have the same kebs and majboos and so on, the flavors are very different, even though the style of cooking is sort of similar. So I think we need to like focus on our food and our ingredients and elevate it from there. That's how it will hit the international market.
Majboos 2.0.
Yes.
Here's the new Majboos.
Upgraded majboos.
Upgraded Majboos. That will be very interesting to see. In your future restaurant, you never know that. Try the all new, upgraded, elevated, funky Majboos. That's be very interesting. Well, this has been a very interesting talk, to be honest with you. Any last words to the viewers, to me, to people watching Bahrain TV right now?
Thank you so much for having me. I think as well, I think the youth here are very interested in the hospitality field comparing to how it was 10 years ago.
Okay.
So I think it's going to be a good future for Bahraini food itself. And I'm excited to see what's going to happen. I'm excited to see where I'm going to be, how different, what kind of new restaurants are going to open, and so on. So,
wow, really exciting stuff ahead, right? But again, I mean, hopefully I'll make the trip to Ireland just to have madrouba.
I'll invite you. As soon as I open, you'll be like the first guest.
I was like, oh, yes, and take a selfie. It's like, well, I'm having madrouba here in Belfast. You're having it in Galali. It's a different experience, different spices. Well, thank you so much, Lulwa, for being with us right here on Bahrain Now, and we cannot wait to see how the future is like for you. Thank you so much for joining us. Most definitely. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as Lulwa said, don't give up. Keep going. All that were the words of Lulwa right here on Bahrain Now in an interview. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we've made it to the finish line. A huge thank you to all of our guests for joining us tonight. Another huge thank you to all of you watching us at home. As always, be sure to reach out to us on our social media accounts shown below. We love hearing from you. I'm Bara Abdallah. Till next time, Bahrain, goodbye, good night, and God bless.